Yo, what up, YouTube? Yeah, I have to upload at different times and break up the video because a lot of my videos and shit, just because I don't have that much memory on my phone, man. But I don't really care because I don't want to say too much neither. You know what I mean? Um, I guess the Holy Spirit implores me to post, right? Because listen, man, they had some necktie come on as some type of professional to speak on these mass shooters, with the propaganda and all that, right? So peep game, man. This is a game of targeting, and this is systematically being blocked in. Take, for instance, I currently do not own a gun. And the reason why I do not own a gun is because of this systematic controllership. All right. If you live on the land in these days and times, it is wise to have a gun. But being who I am and how things are going, I don't have the same luxuries. That's why you have to know yourself really well. You know what I'm saying? I'm stretched out to go upon faith. I can't place it in any other thing. Not a tool, nothing. You know what I'm saying? And the fact of the matter is this necktie comes on here as a professional with this recent shooting with this gentleman in uh, Tulsa, Oklahoma. All right. And his reasoning is like, it seems like a lot of these shooters were alone. Not talking about alone in their actions of shooting, but the signs of their character. He was saying a lot of these people have signs, and one of those signs is that they're isolated. Sounds interesting. Now go back and watch my review on American Ultra, the film. See, you guys want to talk about targeting? He's still on Truman Show. You need to get with the grit, man. Watch that review that I put on America Ultra, and then go watch the movie. All right. All movies deal with targeting. If you're picking out one or the other, you're missing it. You're totally missing it. Everybody is a target, and if they're not a target, it's because they've been trapped already. So you can expand your knowledge on how other people got trapped in between circumstances and what have you, right? And just ignore the happy ending that they have, even if you're like some female that watches romance movies and shit like that. Let me tell you something. Each character in a film has a particular problem and circumstance. That is the dynamics of their targeting. If you notice, I don't put targeting in my titles. I don't do that anymore. All right? I don't do that because with all the mass shootings and things like that, and I know how people think if they don't understand us, I don't do that anymore. So, you know, I we have to think of communicating our things more intelligently. One of this way is by going through movie reviews because you can attribute what you're saying to a movie. You can attribute what you're saying to a song. But in terms of, anybody come up and say, "Oh, you seem unstable." Well, I was talking about a movie, dude. Why'd they make that movie for? Should it be rated higher than R, or what do you mean? Right? When people come on here physically talking about their personal situations, what have you, you're also putting out information for people to detail your life. You didn't just end up a target. Didn't everybody just move away from you at the same time? This was before you had even become aware of it. It was already in the working. All right. The Matrix is a movie, but it'll deepen your discernment by watching movies and understanding the Matrix overlaid on top of it. You could say the Matrix when they're in with the ships and Nebuchadnezzar and what have you. That's like a 4D setting. All right. And the actual Matrix world is the so-called quote unquote real world. All right. That's the world that you perceive around you where you see people wearing shirts and things like that. These are archetypes that trigger you. They use triggering a hypnosis a lot of times that trigger you that when you see it in your immediate environment, you say, oh man, he's got a red shirt. So what, man? He could be a part of the blood game. I mean, what is he gonna wear yellow? You know what I'm saying? You gotta think. Now, why does that stand out to me? Why does this red shirt stand out to me? Is there anything particular about the character? If you're not asking these types of questions, then dude, anything this targeting is turning into a snowball effect where any and everything that happens to inconvenience you is something pertaining to targeting, and that's just not so. That is the basis of the program working. That it enshrouds your entire life. And now your psychology is on display, right? That's where they could get into the logistic and say, well, he thinks everything is targeting. We can move something in and have someone do this or do that. But you guys, it's really not that specific because it pertains to spirits, and that what you see are archetypes of your mind. What does it mean to you? This is what I mean. All this stuff I'm sure you never heard of. I mean, I got directly gaslighted the same thing all over the place several single times. But the fact of the matter is, when that happened, I took those things and I found scriptures to connotate that when I see them, it just reinforced my faith in God. Right? So they stopped gaslighting me because they knew I figured out a way just to reinforce it and make myself stronger. And guess what'll happen then? It'll really trip you out when God starts putting those things in your immediate area, because then you'll still think it's targeting, but the fact of the matter is God recognizes how you recognize it according to him, and he's responding to you saying, dude, hang in there. Right? But with just targeting and people leaving things for you, you're leaving your mind open to the devil. Right? Your mind is open in confusion. What does this mean? What does that mean? Once confusion gets into your mind, that is the devil's playground. He knows how to work that. Right? You're more worried about the physical elements and existential reality than you are spiritually, the things that come upon your mind and what have you. The only thing that happens in the existential world, the only way it bears meaning is if you apply meaning to it. If you don't apply meaning to it, it's not a gaslight. No matter where someone leaves a cup, whether they leave it by your car every single time you park, because it's just like, okay, there's a cup there. Now, to some people that's creepy, but for me, for one thing that I thought it to be hilarious was, dude, how much work did it take for them to figure out where I was going to park, look for my car, and put a cup down right next to my car? That's a lot of work. That's a hell of a way. That's got to be a tweaker, right? That's got to be a tweaker or a crackhead. If it's not one of those two, it's definitely not the governmental agency. What it is somebody who has that much time on their hands to deal with somebody regular and insignificant. Now we're talking about spirits, but spirits ain't real. Niggas want to be spiritual, but they don't believe in spirits. Yet they have the Holy Spirit also, right? These are splinters in your mind. That's why I said, if you come to me, I put a few quarters in there, your head will be all fucked up. Why? Because you don't know those gaps or inconsistencies, that cognitive dissonance is in your mind. See? Everybody's mind is like that. What targeting caused me to do was know myself, to figure out what's going on in here. Right? Now, every time somebody seeks to target me, they're stepping into my arena. They're stepping into my world. God is sovereign. You're stepping into my space. Don't matter if it's the devil. They could do what they want to do. But if they're doing what they're doing in application to me, then they're providing me their energy. They're providing me their attention. And only I can be the expert on me unless I'm in cognitive dissonance and don't understand. I have reasonable grounds off top just to litigate, just to ask them, why'd you place that cup next to my car? You know what I'm saying? Well, I was, you know what I'm saying? Do you litter? Do you litter a lot? You know what I'm saying? You want to pick that cup up, or why did you do this thing? Well, I don't know. It's just something that I do sometimes. They don't know. They're spiritually possessed, man. I'm not saying that everybody in the world is freaking spiritually possessed, but that Holy Spirit, when they talk about you're sealed, it's talking about you're not able to be infiltrated by spirits that's going to take over your mind and possess you to do something crazy. You see what I'm saying? That's why all this work, they needed so many people to believe that God wasn't real, that Christ wasn't real, right? Now everybody's mad at the police with all these masks. They can't be everywhere at once. Only God can be everywhere at once, right? What's the problem with you? The problem with you is that you place your faith in man. Good luck with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to go out and get sage or anything. I just talk to God right here. Right? Niggas can't do shit because they got to do things a certain type of way and all type of shit like that. Niggas think that, you know what I'm saying, you bad mouthing crystals or this thing or that thing just based on them having them. Nah. If someone is defensive about what I have to say, about the things I have to say, why are they defensive? That's why you can't say shit around me. I'm too intricate. The bigger question is, why are they defensive? Right. But we want to look at me. That's why I say I turn the knife, man. Why are you defensive? You know I don't give a fuck. If that's what you're going to do, man, you know what I'm saying? Hey, if somebody's falling, I used to be the guy to catch you. I kind of get out of the way now. I know I'm human. Catching falling niggas ain't for me. That's something that, that's crisis field. He could deliver, right? I'm not strong enough. I can't hold you up and deal with this also, right? So that's the thing, you guys, man. They're tailoring this thing to be isolation. And as they continue further and further on, you putting up videos about you being isolated, this, that, and the other, and targeting is a group massive thing, then all of a sudden everybody's blaming everything on targets. Why? Because people are not accountable. They want somebody to blame. Now they have a substantiate reason for all the weird looks they give you and everything like that. Like, oh yeah, I knew something was up with that guy. They're going to think you're crazy. If you can't explain what you're explaining to me as a target, I will always understand you. But if you put it on the World Wide Web and somebody that's a layman that has no understanding of what you're going through can understand it even a little bit, man, you're barking up the wrong park. Then somebody watches your video that's not really a target, and then they think I'm target. Well, weird stuff happened in my life. And now they're looking at people all kinds of weird, but they don't know what they're talking about. It's the separation of society. Everything I say, every video I watch, man, I come like an AK-47 in terms of like the amount of information I put out in each video, man. It's like do. I know you guys ain't catching all that with one time through. I know you're not. This shit is heavy metal. This is a heavy metal ministry, man. That's just the truth. And I ain't capping on you guys. It's out of love, man. But it's like, it's been years. I've been waiting for people to catch up to have a conversation. Most things I say, on average, it takes people about 3 years to catch up. By the time they start talking about it, man, I'm way down the line somewhere else. Now, if I'm crazy, right? How long did it take for me to understand this pattern that we look for in existential reality? Right? He's wearing a blue shirt. He's wearing a red shirt. Right? Are you aware of the things that you say or why you say them? Well, if you don't know your mind, you don't. You may know why you said something at the time, and that's about it. People wait all year for a football game that they'll forget the next day. Remember when I talked about soul and memory? The world is changing. If you don't make yourself like a pillar and strong in your values, then you will change with it. Peace and blessings be with you all. I'm out.